My brother laughed when I told him I bought a food truck. Not politely, not nervously, laughed. Real laugh, shoulders shaking. Fork down, wine glass half raised like he was about to toast my stupidity. "Why not just fail publicly?" he said. His wife snorted, then said, "That's kind of adorable." Someone at the table coughed to hide their smile. I didn't say anything, just looked at my plate. The lasagna was dry. Brent's house had 12-foot ceilings, and nothing that made a sound. It was the kind of place that whispered wealth through the backsplash. Everyone was there. My mom, my sister, their spouses, my nephew, who played games under the table while the adults judged me with small smirks and fork taps. I didn't want to tell them. My plan was to keep it quiet, just get the truck up, serve food, work. But Mom asked what I'd been pursuing, and Brent leaned in like he already knew the punchline, so I told them. "I bought a food truck." Brent said, "With what?" I said, "My savings." "How much?" $6,000. He burst out laughing. Claire, his wife, looked me up and down like I was a kid who'd tried on his dad's shoes. "You're gonna run a truck with $6,000, she said. "You know that's not enough for permits alone, right?" I didn't answer. Brent leaned back in his chair. "You know what? Go for it. Seriously. Why not just fail publicly? At least we'll all know what happened." I nodded, cut my lasagna, ate slowly, let them finish their amusement. After dinner, Brent offered to walk me out. He stood on his patio in his socked feet, drink in hand, looking like a stock photo of suburban success. "You're serious about this?" "I am." He looked at me for a moment. "Good luck, man. Don't say I didn't warn you." "I won't." He smiled, patted my shoulder, then turned around and shut the door. I drove back to the garage I was renting behind someone else's house. Single room, space heater, mismatched tile. Smelled like mothballs and detergent. The food truck sat out back. It was beige, or had been. Rust patches along the hood. Tires slightly deflated. Rear bumper dented. The kind of vehicle that looked like it should have died during the Clinton administration. The guy who sold it to me called it charming. I called it mine. Inside, it smelled like fryer grease and rot. The stainless steel counters were scratched to hell. The fridge compressor was shot. The sink was filled with something that looked like it had once been onions. I sat behind the wheel, turned the key. It didn't start, didn't even try, just clicked. I pulled a napkin from my pocket, one I took from Brent's dinner table, wrote 2 things on it with a half-dead Sharpie. 1, make it run. 2, make them wait. I taped it to the dashboard. Didn't speak for the rest of the night. The next morning I started scrubbing. Everything. Walls, floors, fryer trays, burner tops, oven racks. 3 hours in, I sliced my palm open on a rusted edge of the fridge door. I wrapped it in a dish towel, kept scrubbing. I spent the next 6 weeks teaching myself how to rebuild a food truck. I slept 5 hours a night, worked 14, used YouTube for plumbing diagrams, emailed old food truck blogs for advice. Nobody replied. Didn't matter. By the second week, the stove worked. By the third, the water line held. By the fourth, I had power. By the fifth, I passed my fire inspection. The inspector looked at me and said, "This thing's older than me." I said, "She's still breathing." He smiled, signed the paper. Nobody in my family knew, no texts, no calls. Not one of them followed up after that dinner. I didn't remind them. On the 6th Sunday, I launched. No ribbon, no Instagram post, no press release, just a spot behind a tire shop. I opened the hatch, turned on the griddle, and waited. My first customer was a guy from the garage next door. Grease-stained overalls, $20 in his hand. "What's the special?" he asked. "Burgers." He nodded, took 2, ate them both sitting on a crate. Said nothing, just gave me a thumbs up on the way out. The second day, a woman in scrubs came by. "Smells like real food," she said. I said, "It is." She smiled. By the end of week 1, I had regulars. Not many, but enough. I didn't tell anyone my name, didn't brand the truck, no logo, just a black sign that said, "Rust to roast." And underneath, "Failure is fuel." Week 2, someone posted about me on Reddit. "New truck behind Tate's tires, killer sliders, old school, no gimmicks." That post got 213 upvotes. I didn't even see it until a week later. Brent still didn't know. Claire didn't either, but they would, eventually. Everyone does. Nobody called after the first week. Not Brent, not Mom, not Claire. That was the point, I think. They figured I'd quit, lose steam, burn out like all the other projects I'd tried and failed at. Writing, coaching, freelance editing. All of it had one thing in common. It didn't make money. So in their eyes, it didn't matter. The food truck didn't have a bathroom. So I used the one at the gym, worked the lunch shift, cleaned the truck, then ran dishes through the cafe sink at my rental. I used expired dish soap and one sponge until it disintegrated in my hand. Dinner was leftovers, usually crust ends or whatever I burned less. Each morning, I wheeled the truck out from behind the tire shop. Same corner, same cracked asphalt, same routine. Open hatch, fire up burners, slide meat onto heat, stack paper trays, clean, prep, repeat. Sometimes I'd serve 6 people, sometimes 1, sometimes none. Claire posted a vacation picture during week 3, her and Brent in Turks and Caicos, holding cocktails that probably cost more than my fryer. Caption read, "Earn your peace." I didn't like it. I didn't comment. I saved it. A guy named Tommy started showing up every Thursday. Construction worker, ate 2 sliders every time. Didn't say much, but once he asked, "Where'd you learn to cook?" "Didn't," I said. He smiled. Could have fooled me. Someone else offered to help rebrand the truck, said I should modernize the story. I told him there was no story, just heat and metal and meat. By month 2, the lunch line stretched 6 deep. A kid in college asked to tag me on Instagram. I told him to tag the truck, not me. I didn't tell anyone in my family. I wanted them to find out the same way I found out Brent got promoted, through someone else. Week 7, a woman approached the truck holding a clipboard. "Are you the owner?" she asked. "Depends. Health inspection." I nodded. Let her in. She poked, measured, scanned, looked disappointed. "You're running it clean," she said. I shrugged. "Try to." She handed me the paper. "Most guys cut corners. I've got nothing to cut." That day, I pulled in $612, personal record. I wrote the number on the napkin still taped to my dash, under the words, "Make it run. Make them wait." That night, I saw Brent on the local news, interviewed about a new community tech grant his firm was managing. He was wearing a $2,000 blazer and smiling like he was doing the city a favor. Claire was in the background, nodding. I muted the TV. A week later, I saw them again. Not in person, in print. A local magazine had featured top 10 power couples under 40. Brent and Claire were number 2. The write-up said Brent had an eye for structure and Claire had a heart for hospitality. I read it twice. Then I tossed the magazine in the fryer, let it burn down to pulp and oil. People started asking if I was opening a second truck. I told them no, but I was. Silently. Used an alias. Registered it under a generic LLC. Called it something simple. Roast Syndicate. Different color. Different location. Same sliders. Same silence. By the end of month 3, I had 2 trucks, 9 part-time staffers, and a vendor list I paid cash in full. No debts, no branding deals, no investors, just steel and fire and discipline. One night, Tommy brought his wife to the truck. She asked if I ever considered franchising. I said, "I'm not looking to be famous." She laughed. "You already are. You just don't know it." Still, no word from Brent. No mention from Claire. Not even a curious message from Mom. I figured they knew, or suspected. Didn't matter. That Friday, a local food blogger posted about Rust to Roast. Called it the quiet king of sliders. Said it was as unbranded as it is unforgettable. Included a picture of the truck's back, where I'd taped a new phrase under the logo. "Failure is fuel. We remember everything." Claire liked the post. Didn't comment. Didn't tag anyone. But she liked it, and that was enough. They started calling me the Ghost Chef. I didn't pick the name. It came from a viral TikTok. Some girl filmed her boyfriend waiting 40 minutes at my second truck. Called it the Untaggable Slider Spot. Said it had no online presence, no menu website, no contact info, just a black and steel truck with a line and a taste she couldn't explain. "He won't even show his face," she said. "It's like he doesn't care about being famous." She wasn't wrong. I kept it that way. No photos, no interviews. No face, just the food. And the logo, Rust to Roast, failure is fuel. We remember everything. Some tried to reverse engineer who I was. Food blogs speculated. Said I might be ex-military, a failed chef, a burnt-out artist. Nobody guessed right. Nobody mentioned Brent. Or Claire. They were still out there, posting vacation pics, networking, speaking at panels, wearing name tags and holding microphones. I bought a 3rd truck 6 months in. Parked it on the other side of the city. Different name, different food, same heart, everything cash, everything quiet. By now, the original truck was booked 4 days a week. Farmers markets, breweries, pop-ups, no branding, no banners. Just the smell, the line, the silence. People started making YouTube videos. The truck with no owner. I waited 90 minutes for a slider. Was it worth it? They always said yes. Once, a guy stuck his head through the service window. "You the owner?" "Why?" "I run a startup, want to pitch you franchising. This thing could go national." I looked at him, said nothing. He laughed nervously. "You don't care about scale? I care about heat." He left with a slider and no contract. I kept my phone on Do Not Disturb, even when it buzzed, especially when it buzzed. One day, I got a text from an unknown number. Just said, "You still chasing ghosts?" I didn't respond. I knew who it was. Brent was facing pressure at work. One of my regulars worked for his firm. Said they were downsizing. Said Brent was getting restructured. I didn't ask what that meant. Didn't need to. Claire was doing food blogging now. I found her page. Plated by Claire. Lots of charcuterie boards and hotel brunches. She posted a story about the Rust to Roast line at the Westside Festival. Said she was excited to try the most elusive sliders in the city. Took a picture from 30 feet away. Didn't know what she was standing next to. Didn't recognize the man behind the window. I watched her walk away from the line. Posted a filtered photo of a salad instead. Caption: "Sometimes the journey's better than the bite." The journey for me was still quiet. Still fire and prep in motion. Still anonymous. Still mine. One of the local breweries offered me a permanent lease spot. Said they'd build me a custom stall. I said no. They asked why. I told them I wasn't done moving. Tommy, my first regular, came by again. This time with his daughter. She said, "You should sell merch." I handed her a sticker that said, "I waited." She smiled. That's kinda badass. Brent emailed me, first time in a year. Oh, subject, checking in. Message, "Saw your trucks are doing well. Proud of you. Let me know if you ever want help with logistics or scaling. Could be a good collaboration, family support and all that." I deleted it. Didn't archive, didn't block, just hit delete. I opened a storage unit that month, filled it with fryers, spare steel, dry goods, labeled everything by hand. One billion said, "Failure." Another said, "Fuel." A podcaster reached out, wanted to crack the mystery, said I was the most searched name without a face in local food culture. I didn't reply. Claire posted again. This time she tagged the Rust to Roast account, said, "Manifesting a meet. Been on my list all year." It got 72 likes, one from Brent. I scheduled a booth at a wine festival 2 weeks later. Same event Claire was covering. Didn't mention it, didn't announce it. Just showed up, same truck, same heat, same sign. Failure is fuel. We remember everything. She arrived early, camera in hand, wearing white and holding a glass of red, filmed her walkthrough, stopped at the line by my truck, turned the camera to her face. "This one? Longest line here. No name tags, no business cards, but apparently worth the wait." She laughed and waited. 43 minutes. Didn't recognize me. Didn't expect what was coming. I flipped the last patty, grabbed a tray, wrote her name on it, Claire, then waited. Claire was 5 people from the window when she first checked her reflection. Phone camera angled just right. Smile relaxed. Hair swept clean over her shoulder. Not a strand out of place. She spoke into the lens. "Waiting in line at Rust to Roast. 40 minutes and counting. This better be worth it." Then she winked. Cut the recording. She didn't see me watching. Didn't see her name written in block letters on the tray beside the griddle. Just CLAIRE, all caps, underlined once in black marker. Behind her, someone said, "You're gonna love it." She turned. "Oh, you've had it before?" The man nodded. "I come every week. The guy behind the window doesn't talk much, but the food hits different, like it was made by someone who's had enough." Claire smiled. "I get that." She didn't. Not yet. I kept flipping patties, toasted the bun, laid the sauce down slow. She was 2 people away when she posted another story. "I've waited for shoes less than this," she said, laughing. Her voice hadn't changed. Still that same soft smugness. The one she used when she told me, "It's cute you're still trying." The customer in front of her ordered 2 sliders. I handed them over without a word. He said thanks. I nodded. Claire stepped forward, looked me dead in the face, didn't blink, didn't flinch, didn't recognize me. "Can I get whatever's best?" she asked. I didn't answer, just reached for the tray, placed the slider on it, wrote one more word beneath her name, "Fail publicly," then turned it around, set it on the ledge. Her smile twitched. She looked at the handwriting, then back at me. I took off my hat, removed my sunglasses, met her eyes, nothing, then recognition, then color drained from her face, like someone had unplugged the sun behind her eyes. She opened her mouth. I raised one finger, just a little. She closed it. She looked down at the tray again. Her voice was quiet. This is yours?" I nodded. She swallowed hard. "It's your—" She didn't finish, didn't need to. I slid the tray forward. "No charge," I said. She stared. "You already paid for it." She blinked. "I didn't." "You did." I turned to the next customer. "Next." She didn't move at first, then picked up the tray like it might burn her. Turned away, no selfie, no post, no camera, just Claire, walking off with a slider made by the brother she forgot existed. Brent showed up 30 minutes later. He didn't get in line, didn't speak, just stood near the fence, watching. I saw him. Didn't wave, didn't nod, just handed out orders, one by one. When the last ticket was served, I locked up the hatch, wheeled the truck to the back lot. Brent was still there. He walked over as I killed the engine. "You really did it," he said. I stepped down, wiped my hands on a towel. He looked me over. "You could have told us." I shrugged. "You didn't ask." He nodded. "I guess I deserve that." I didn't reply. He looked around, trying to find something to say. Finally, "Claire told me." I raised an eyebrow. He laughed once, dry. "She said you gave her the best slider she's ever had." Still didn't speak. He took a breath. "You planning on opening more?" I didn't answer. He reached into his coat, pulled out a business card, held it toward me. "If you ever want to scale it, I can help." I looked at it. Then the trash can beside us, dropped it in, closed the lid. He stared for a second, then gave a small nod. "You're cold, man." I looked him in the eye. "Number, I'm fed up." Then I walked away. That night, Claire deleted every story she posted that day. Every picture, every tag, even the one with the caption, "Manifesting this meal." Gone. The next morning, I posted my own. Just a photo of the handwritten tray. Claire, fail publicly, captioned it. "Some names don't need remembering, just closure." It got shared 4,000 times. No tags, no face, just handwriting. People in the comments said, "This is personal. Whoever he is, he's not done." Now that's how you serve a dish cold. I didn't reply to any of them, didn't follow up, didn't engage. I had sliders to make. Brent didn't call again. Claire didn't post for 2 weeks. Not a reel, not a recipe, not even a selfie. Her last photo, the one with the caption, "Manifesting this meal," disappeared like the rest. Deleted, archived, buried. I didn't mention it, didn't need to. The line outside the truck got longer every weekend. Someone from a local business journal emailed me for an interview, said they were doing a founders feature. I declined. They emailed again, offered to blur my face. Still no. Another person left a business card under the windshield wiper. It said, "Your silence is brilliant. Let us turn it into something loud." I tossed it in the fryer. Let the oil take it. Tommy brought his brother by one morning. "He doesn't believe you're real," he said. I handed over the slider without comment. His brother took a bite, chewed, then nodded. "Yeah, this tastes like someone who's been humiliated." Tommy smiled. I didn't. Week after the wine festival, I opened a 4th truck. Didn't announce it, didn't name it. No logo, just a window and a flame. Claire sent me a message on Instagram. Just one line. Was I really that cruel? I didn't reply. I archived it. 2 days later, she unfollowed the truck account. The next morning, she followed again. Brent texted, said he wanted to talk, said he wanted to clear the air. I typed a reply, deleted it, left him on read. A radio host mentioned me in a morning segment, called me the Phantom Chef, said he liked that I never spoke publicly, said it made the food taste like a secret. I liked that. I didn't respond. I bought a small warehouse near the edge of town, painted it gray, no signs, no banners. Inside, I built prep tables, stocked storage, used it for the trucks, started hiring, 4 employees, then 6, all paid cash above board, all trained personally. None knew who I was, just the name, Rust to Roast. I added something to the wall of the warehouse, framed, white text, on blackboard, big enough to read from anywhere inside. Why not just fail publicly? That was it. No names, just memory. A friend of Claire's came to the truck one weekend, didn't recognize me. She said, "My friend had a weird experience here, but she couldn't stop talking about it." I nodded. "Good weird?" She shrugged. "The kind that changes you." Then she ordered 2 sliders. Brent made partner the following quarter. I heard it through a vendor who did catering for their firm. "Your brother's still in the game," he said. "Different game," I replied. He nodded. Didn't ask more. Didn't need to. One of my trucks started serving outside Brent's office building every Thursday. He walked past it twice before realizing. Stopped. Stared. Didn't approach. Just kept walking. But the 3rd week, he waited in line. Didn't speak when he got to the window. I handed him a slider. He opened his wallet. I shook my head. No charge. He looked up. Eyes tired. Mouth tight. I slid the tray across. "You already paid for it." He nodded. Took the food. Didn't say thank you. Didn't need to. That weekend, a customer asked why I didn't expand to LA. I said, "Some meals belong where they were burned." They laughed. I didn't. A young woman approached the truck at closing one night, said she was starting a food cart, asked if I had advice. I said, "Make it hurt first." She blinked. I handed her a sandwich. "Then make it worth it." I didn't need revenge. I had receipts. I got the letter in February. Cream-colored envelope, expensive cardstock, gold-stamped return address, Claire's handwriting, neat, controlled. Inside, 2 pages. No dear, no sincerely. Just this. I still think about that day. You didn't yell, you didn't accuse, you just handed me something I thought I'd never have to hold. My own reflection. I've never hated food until that moment. Now I crave it. I crave understanding what it meant to you. If that was love, if that was war, or if that was just peace served with pickles. Either way, I get it. You didn't fail. We did. No signature. I folded the letter in half, slipped it into a drawer I no longer opened, then locked it. Brent never wrote. He didn't need to. That silence had already become its own statement. A food documentary crew reached out, said they were doing a special on ghost chefs and cult culinary brands with no face. They offered a 5-figure feature. I declined. The producer asked why. I told him, because you're asking the wrong question. He said, what's the right one? I said, what did they lose when I stayed quiet? Then I hung up. I opened a cafe on the east side, called it $6,000. No logo, no slogans, just that name, just quiet wood tables and steel counters and a small hand-chalked sign that read, order when you're ready, we always are. One wall had a single framed quote, black ink on bone-white canvas. Why not just fail publicly? No context, no story, just the words. They said everything. The line on opening day wrapped around the block. Claire didn't show up. Brent didn't either. But someone from their family did. My mom. She didn't order anything. Just walked through, looked around, stopped at the wall, then nodded once, and left. She didn't say a word. That was the first time I understood her. By summer, the 4th truck had its own wait list. People booked it for private events, weddings, corporate retreats. Someone paid $5,000 to have it serve at a TEDx conference. I didn't attend. The truck did. It said everything I needed it to say. I walked into a bookstore one afternoon to kill time. Found a journal in the mindfulness section. Claire's name was on the spine. Eating with Humility. Chapter 1. The day I waited in line and met myself. I didn't buy it, but I flipped to the last page. There was a quote, some food breaks you, some food feeds you. If you're lucky, it does both. No mention of just the echo, just the shadow. People asked if I'd ever do a TED Talk, or a memoir, or a podcast. I said no. Said the sliders already told the story. They laughed. I didn't. Someone left a note in the tip jar one night. It said, thanks for showing me what quiet power tastes like. I taped it to the inside of the service window. The grease curled the paper a little at the corners, made it imperfect. That felt right. The trucks kept running, the staff grew, the name spread. I didn't. Every once in a while someone still asked if I remembered them. A classmate, an old coworker, a guy who once laid me off. I always said yes, then handed them their order, always warm, always ready. One night, near closing, a teenager walked up, looked nervous, said his brother used to bully me in school, said he wanted to say sorry on his behalf. I said, you're not your brother. He looked relieved. Then I added, but tell him the food's better when it's earned. I never forgave Brent, not out loud, but I fed him. That's enough. The napkin from the first night, still taped to the dashboard of truck number 1, faded, fraying, still legible. Make it run. Make them wait. They did, and I did. That's all for this story. I'll be back with another one. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It motivates me to create more content like this.